to our Advanced Opportunities Night tonight, and we appreciate all of you coming. And I had some people come in and I said, man, nothing better to do on a Monday night? I don't know. But we really are excited that you're here. This meeting has gotten bigger every year, and I think what our hope is that you'll get some information and you'll share that information with as many people as you can. My name's Jason Lords. I'm the district's director of instruction and learning, and I'm not sure how I got roped into starting this, but we really are excited. One of the things that and our principals are here with us, and they're going to do some talking about the history and just kind of where we've gone as a district with advanced opportunities. And one of the things that I'm just so excited about in our district is the opportunities that we have for our students, and again, growing those opportunities, especially with when students have experiences and they're able to share with us how to make those experiences better. It's just been really great. So as we get going, I'm gonna do some introductions of the people that will be doing the presentations for us tonight. We have our high school principals. Levi Owen is the principal at Bonneville High School. And then Zach Lords is standing next to him. He's assistant principal here at Thunder Ridge. And then Lyndon Oswald is our principal at Technical Career High School. And then Scott Miller is our principal at Hillcrest High School. And then Corey Telford, who should be standing up here. He looks sharp in that pink tie. Corey Telford is our Advanced Opportunities Coordinator for our district. He's the guy that when most of us have questions, we say, I'll find that out from Corey, or call Corey, or you never hear that, right? But Corey's just done an amazing job of building our advanced opportunities programs for our students. I don't know if he'll tell his story, but he's told the story of when he first started, he was in a different district. We still talk to him now that he's in our district, but he was in a different district, and he said, when he was looking at advanced opportunities, it was for selfish reasons. It was for his kids, and just really got excited about that. And then we stole him from a school district, and he's just continued to grow those opportunities for students. So that's been awesome. And then we also have some representatives from the State Department, from the colleges around our area. So from the State Department of Education Advanced Opportunities Program, we have Casey Bjorkia. Is that close? Okay. Every time I look at it, if I didn't look at it, I would have said it right. But looking at it, I'm like, I'm not sure that was right. Yeah, Casey's here. Thank you for being here. And then from Idaho State University Early College Program, we have Chelsea Rao. Close, okay, and Amanda Blair. And then from the College of Eastern Idaho Early College Program, Mary Stevenson. And from College of Southern Idaho Early College Program, Josh Sakalaris. I asked Corey, I'm like, is that close? He's like, yeah, that's what I call him. He'll tell us if it's not. So, and then from BYU Idaho Early College Program, we have Tyler Williams. I like it. And then, and then also from BYU Idaho's Tim Belknap. Tim's awesome. I would give him the mic, but it would be entertaining for sure. Yeah, you may have heard Tim at basketball games. If you've been to basketball games or football games throughout the district, he does the announcing for us. So what we'll do is our high school principals will kind of share the history and just the advanced opportunities, what they are, and then the universities, colleges will provide you with some information, and then our director of advanced opportunities, Corey Telford, will end the meeting talking through, and then we'll have a question. I think we're still doing a question and answer, right? Okay. So and we'll end with that. So I will turn some time over to Mr. Miller at Hillcrest High School through history of AP and dual credit classes. I don't know if it was working. Do something with it.
Well, you got to go through all the names. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Okay, Corey asked me to talk a little bit about the history of where we've come and where we're at. And so back in 1950, the district consolidated from many, many, many school districts into one. and we had no advanced opportunities. Let's jump 70 years ahead. We now have a lot. We've worked really hard as a school district to meet the needs of our kids. It's been a challenge as we have grown, because you think about the more schools you add, the staff that is in those schools then goes somewhere else, or they stay. But there's a greater need for the number of courses, the number of teachers that can teach those. And I can attest that when there's a position open, there is not a huge number of folks clamoring to be teaching at the high school level. So it is very challenging for us to find people as we expand and grow, and we add a school, or people move, or people leave, or people retire, to find replacements that continue to do what we've been offered to do. But we have done, I think, a great job in being able to offer these courses over the last several years as we have grown so rapidly. We have added Bonneville Online High School, so there's AP opportunities there. Before Thunder Ridge opened, and we didn't have room at Bonneville or Hillcrest for many of our teachers, we offered these classes over at, back in the day, it was College of Eastern, no, it is now the College of Eastern Idaho, but it was ITech, and they rented us space. And so we had students traveling there to take classes from our teachers. And that's a pain in the neck, because the kids have to travel. So as we've added buildings, we now have our teachers traveling rather than the students traveling, to try to ease that. So we do have many teachers throughout our district that don't have a home school per se. They are traveling around from school to school throughout the day, or sometimes they're at a home base for a trimester, but a lot of them aren't. So we've done everything we can to continue to offer these courses here, these advanced placement courses, at all three high schools. Now, are all three high schools able to offer all of these? Can we guarantee that every year? No. We can tell you what we have now, but really, I don't know what the staff will look like at Hillcrest next fall. Things happen. Life changes. People move. People retire. Things happen. But we do our best to try to fill in when we have those things happen with people that are qualified to continue to teach these classes for our kids. One thing we don't have listed up here is all of our dual credit courses. Come on. We have the ones that we've recently added, but we have a really long laundry list of the dual credit classes that we have at all our high schools. This is just a small list of the things the last 2 years. It's getting bigger and bigger every single year. Now, Levi is going to talk about some of the obstacles, and I'm going to lead in with that, but one of them is our teachers have to get articulation agreements with the college and universities to be able to teach dual credit classes. They just don't let anybody do it, because those students are receiving the same curriculum, the same assessments at the high school that they would if they were on those campuses. And I think, does that sum up everything for me? Nope, there's a couple more that we're waiting to get approval from the different colleges. We just haven't heard yet. So, with that, I think I am done. Good luck.
I'll pick up where Mr. Miller left off here a little bit. So, as he kind of alluded to, there are a lot of moving parts and pieces when it comes to the advanced op piece that we're offering in our district. Aside from the 1,000 or so students or 1,500 students that we're working with on a daily basis at the high school level, we have a portion of our student body that are working towards receiving college credits and even college degrees. And so there's a number of things to think about as we start talking about advanced opportunities. Some of the definitions of things can be a little bit confusing. Really, the two that you need to be aware of with advanced ops, dual enrollment and dual credit. Those are not the same thing, right? And you can see the definitions up there a little bit. A student that is dual enrolled is generally traveling from one of our high schools to another high school. For example, at Bonneville High School, we have a tremendous number of our population that dual enroll to the Technical Careers High School and take classes there, right? Those are all dual enrolled students. When we start looking at the advanced opportunities, most often we're talking about dual credit classes. And those are classes that students are enrolled in where they are receiving both high school credit as well as college credit. So as we talk through things, as you have questions, as you're working with your counselors and admin teams and with your kids, keep in mind the distinction between those two things. There are classes at times that kids will both be dual enrolled and receiving dual credit just because we like to make things super difficult, right? What does that mean for you as parents and as students potentially looking to take advantage of the opportunities? It means you've got to be proactive. Right? Advanced opportunities isn't something that is germanely just going to happen in your high school schedule, right? It's sort of above and beyond that thing. And so as you think about the programs you might want to be part of, in the high school, we offer a variety of clubs, a variety of extracurriculars, a variety of co-curricular subjects. There are going to be times that the only time that dual credit science class is offered is the same time as the choir class you want to be in. Right? And so you've got to be very proactive looking at how you can manage schedule, take classes outside of the regular school day, maximize summertime, all those times that classes are offered to make your schedule work, to take advantage of all the opportunities that you want to in high school and also earn those college credits. Scheduling conflicts are huge. If any of you remember the game Tetris, that's a little bit what master scheduling is like at our level, right? We're trying to put all these parts and pieces in, and it seems like when we're in the scheduling mode, about every other day we get another email from Mr. Telford, oh, by the way, we're now offering this class, and that piece comes floating down, and we have to figure out how to turn it and twist it and put it into the schedule a little bit. So as frustrated as you are with schedules, we feel your pain because we're dealing with it all the time, right? Again, the encouragement I would give you is start looking at things early, making a plan early, and deciding which programs you want to be a part of, which of the certificates or degrees or just flat out experiences you want to have in high school, and put together a plan to meet those needs. Because the reality is you're not going to be able to do everything, right? You got to make choices. And I firmly believe in high school, it's still an opportunity for kids to be kids. Right? Earning an associate's degree is not for everyone. That's probably an extremely small portion of our population that really is even a beneficial thing. I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to have some exposure to what a college class looks like. Right? And so as parents and students, it's important to have those realistic expectations of what your child's experience should be in high school, because they're still kids and they should still have that opportunity. At the same time, we're super excited about the reality that we have students graduating from our high schools with associate's degrees, and we work very hard to offer enough opportunities, to find enough teachers, to get articulated with enough colleges that we can put that package together. Okay? But it comes with definitely some challenges and some things that as parents and students you're going to have to coordinate with your counselors, with Mr. Telford, with building admin. Probably if that's your ultimate goal to reach that associate's degree level, there's a lot of work in the summer and a lot of work outside of the school day that's going to be required for that. So I think that's everything. Mr. Miller touched on the other conflicts, so I'm going to pass the mic.
Sure, I'll talk. Why not? So one of the things that we've tried to do is to kind of create opportunities for students. And so one of the things we're trying to do is with AP and dual credit classes, we're trying to give kids the opportunity that we create hybrid courses where they have the choice to do either AP or the dual credit route, depending on which opportunity they're trying to look at or what colleges they're looking at. So that being said, we can't always make that happen because of qualifications, again, with the colleges, and sometimes there's a different level of curriculum associated with that. But as we look at those students and making those plans for the future, we have lots of students now that are taking advantage of going to the college campuses here in town. We have students at CEI's campus. We have students going to ISU here over at University Place, taking classes there. We have students that are traveling up to Rexburg and going to BYU Idaho and taking classes on campus there, as well as taking advantage of online opportunities through those universities. The students have to be 16 years old in order to do that, but there are opportunities for students to take advantage of those different programs, whether it be online or face-to-face. We like the students to have some experience before we put them in an online section, whether it be through an online high school course or an online college course that we currently offer through Bonneville Online. But we want to make sure that they can be successful, because online learning is different than face-to-face learning. And there's a different motivation factor there and a different level of engagement that has to occur there. But we want them to be successful in those situations. And so we're trying to create opportunities, and we're trying to build partnerships. We've always had BYU Idaho as an option, but really this year and even into next year, we're trying to increase those opportunities, as well as with our state colleges and things like that. So CEI has been a great partnership, and we have kids that are doing some amazing things. Kids are doing all their nursing prerequisites so they can get into a nursing program as soon as they graduate, and doing things that are pretty amazing. So it's an awesome experience for kids, and we want them to take advantage of it. And so we're trying to, with our online teachers, luckily I have great teachers that teach for me, and we're able to offer several dual credit classes because lots of them have master's degrees in different subject areas, and it makes it easier for us to provide some additional opportunities to help avoid some of those scheduling conflicts and things like that for students. So, okay.
All right, I just wanted to take a brief minute here and talk about some of the advantages of AP classes and dual credit courses. The first one stand out in college admissions. When college admission officers are looking at transcripts or looking at applications, when they see on a transcript that someone's taking college level coursework, that really stands out to them. They can handle the extra course load, they can handle the work, the rigor of a college level course. Earn college credits. Most of our universities and colleges with a qualifying AP exam score will accept that college credit. Building college skills. If you know your really the things that we're learning in these advanced classes, such things as polish your time management skills, improve your study skills, understanding just the rigor and the expectations of a college level course, and then just the confidence to succeed. One thing that I wanted to note on the class rank, and we're going to get some of our other presenters are going to go over in a lot more detail than I'm going over. I just wanted to briefly touch on these really quick. The class rank GPA, it is a 5-point weighted scale. That's always important to keep in mind. Number 5, skip introductory classes. This is really important because I feel like this gives us a lot of flexibility. If you know your major really early on, you can take those courses, and then when you do get to college, say you know what career you want to do, you can even do a double major. It gives you a lot of flexibility, being able to skip those introductory courses and those general classes. We talked about confidence to succeed. Some of our other presenters are going to talk kind of about the cost and some of those cost benefits. Let me go to the next slide here. First-hand exposure to college level work. Again, having our students prepare to enter those universities and have that experience of firsthand of the exposure and having that coursework. Then earning credits for it, we'll get into some of that. Mr. Telford will talk about the associates and academic certificate, again, the cost. Really increasing your course options. Earlier registration for classes in college of choice. We talked about class rank. Classroom environment I want to talk a little bit about. So a lot of our students are getting their feet wet with college courses early on in their before they actually go into college. I think that's important because they have the support system while they're at home. Some of these classes are stressful. There's a lot of rigor, and it can be difficult, some of these classes, to be successful at. So I feel like taking those lumps while they have the support system at home is huge. And a lot of students benefit from having their parents or a friend that they can talk to and assist them, rather than, trying out for the first time a college course and when they're hundreds of miles away and not having anyone and being alone and going through it on their own. So, and then just again the confidence to succeed in college. So, pass it over to Lyndon.
Maybe. Okay, you're wondering why the technical career principal is here. It's because we too offer advanced opportunities. My program is unique. I'm a comprehensive high school. That means that I have sophomores through seniors that can come full-time and graduate with a diploma from my high school. Also, they have the advantage of graduating with college credits as well as certificates in automotive and welding. And a lot of my students have the ability to walk right into a job that pays well right out of high school. We currently have 3 programs that are offering college credit. All 5 of my major pathways will be offering college credit here shortly. We're still articulating, trying to get those arranged, but currently we have collision repair. You can get up to 11 college credits and actually almost have your collision repair requirements fulfilled at the high school level. Our emergency medical technician program, our EMT program, you can get up to 12 college credits. We currently work with two different colleges right now for that. We work with CSI, and we're also articulating and have been working with the College of Eastern Idaho. It just makes it easier for our students to do that. We are working in our computer programming and software development pathway. Right now you'll hear, well, if we can get into cybersecurity or coding or programming, that's where the money's going to be. Well, right now there's a lot of meetings taking place because there's not a lot of things have been done at the high school level to articulate a dual pathway or to be able to get college credits. It's new for the colleges. Some of the colleges are just starting programs and pathways to cybersecurity and those things. We're meeting with them, and we're teaching cybersecurity and computer science in our program, but we're yet to be able to offer college credit in that program as well. Construction, we're also preparing to be able to offer dual credit in construction. We're just, I don't know, we're maybe 6 months to a year away from offering those credits as well. Every one of our 5 programs at our school, we have an ag program that does, it was veterinarian tech, assistant tech. Now it's been moved into a different field. There's only 2 states in the country that offer a veterinarian tech assistant program, Texas and Florida, I believe. They've moved away from that, and they're more into animal science now, a broader degree. But we're going to add next year cabinetry in our construction program. We're also going to add natural sciences in our ag program that allows the pathway to become a fish and game officer or a BLM management officer, forestry officer, because we have kids that really enjoy the outdoors and being around animals and taking care of our planet, so they want to be there. So we're adding aquatics. At some point, we're going to actually have a place where you can come and see animals, fish. You can visit the school and see all our baby animals, and we're raising trout right now for fish and game and things like that. Every one of our programs at our school offers college credit. Right now, if you complete the coursework, you take what's called the TSA, a tech assessment. You can go to the college and you can test out and get 1 credit. So that's always been there. You can always get college credit in every one of our pathways. So that's an option as well. They call it the technical competency credit. We also, not at my school, but I work with and help support the CNA programs at both Bonneville High School and Thunder Ridge. And they're earning up to 12 college credits as well. They're articulating. They're like us. They do medical terminology, and then they have the CNA credits as well. Something we added last year is the STEM high school diploma. I don't know if you follow the legislative actions with our legislators. They wanted to, they actually wanted to offer two different, you could choose a pathway of graduating with a typical high school diploma or a STEM diploma. And I like the compromise because now you can graduate with a high school diploma with the STEM diploma attached. Now to do that, typically, every student that graduates takes 8 science credits and 8 math credits. To graduate, you got to get those credits. Now, if you take an additional 5 technology, engineering, or STEM type classes, we now put that on your diploma as getting a STEM. Now, STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but it's more than that. These are all the green jobs that are going to be out there. And we're talking about thousands and thousands of green jobs that open up every year. So we're going to have to start filling those positions. So it's kind of exciting. So if you get that STEM endorsement, it's going to look really good on your resume. You can just be a regular student, take the additional tech classes, and get that STEM endorsement. And I think it'll be powerful on your resume. Also, am I doing the next slide? Corey's probably going to do the next slide, but I noticed there's some middle school people here tonight. And you need to understand, this starts early. It starts in middle school. We've now made it possible for 7th and 8th graders to take STEM classes and some of the prerequisite classes that normally we've had to do in our high school. So we're pretty excited about that. We're excited about middle school kids taking the computer classes and some of those classes early so that when they hit us, they hit the ground running and they can jump right into a lot of those more serious classes. So we're excited about that. And I think you need to look at that. If you're a middle school parent, make sure you're taking full advantage of those computer classes and those STEM type classes early because you're getting high school credit in middle school. So look at those really closely too.
All right, so 2 years ago, I had a brainstorm. I don't know why I had a brainstorm, but I had a brainstorm. I said, let's start Jumpstart High School. Let's start giving kids college opportunities while they're in middle school, or not college, high school opportunities while they're in middle school, so that they're able to work ahead on their high school credits so that they have more opportunities to take advantage of the credits, the college credit opportunities, and still take the electives that they want to do, be involved in choirs, be involved in athletics, do those things, and have those opportunities. Maybe my clicker's not going to work today. Oh well. And so Jumpstart High School is a middle school program. It's designed to allow students to take some of their required graduation elective courses like health, the technology and engineering credit they need to graduate, some of their elective credits, their humanities credits, and work on those, their online courses for those students while they're in middle school. The opportunity for those students to take advantage of that, we have a designated computer lab at each of the middle schools where the students are able to go and work during any one period of their day. Basically what students do is they will replace one of their electives. And if you look in your packet that were out there at the front door, there's a kind of a screenshot of just kind of a sample schedule for somebody that's in Jumpstart Middle School or Jumpstart High School. It's on the back of that first page there. So in 7th grade, we really want students as much as possible to work on, 7th or 8th grade, to work on getting their tech and engineering credit done for high school. There's a bunch of different classes that students can take in order to fulfill that requirement. And it just kind of depends on which opportunities they want to take advantage of. Another opportunity that we started this year is We offer a career explorations class because I would start meeting with students that wanted to graduate with their associate's degree. They'd come in as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and I would ask them, so what do you want to do after high school? I don't know yet. The problem is if you're going to graduate with your associate's degree, that means that when you enter college, you're entering college, and within that first semester in college, you're now considered a junior in college, and you have to declare a major. So we have to have students understand and be involved and know what goes into certain careers and be informed that way. And so part of what we've done is we've offered this career explorations class. Right now, we currently are having all the students this trimester are earning high school credit, and it'll count as one of their electives or 20 electives they need to graduate. And so they're basically exploring 6 different career clusters, going into education, salaries, how much schooling they have to go into for just different parts within each of those career clusters. And so we just want kids to be informed, be able to make that informed decision, so that when we have that conversation with them, the counselors or myself or the college and career advisors or principals, and we say, so what do you want to do after high school? They can say, well, they don't have to say, my dad's an accountant, so I think I'll be an accountant. Or my mom's a nurse, I want to be a nurse. They can say, no, I think I'm really good at math and I really like science, I want to be an engineer. And they do projects. That's the nice thing about the career explorations class, is they do projects within there. For in the engineering section and architecture section, they actually build 3D models and build bridges, and they do experiments on those. And they go through some different things that way. So that's the beauty of Jumpstart High School. Students that may not perform well and we don't want to influence their high school transcript, we give them a middle school credit at that point in time if they don't perform up to their level in the career explorations class. Okay, we're not going to penalize a kid because we're trying to run every 7th or 8th grader through that career explorations class. We're not going to penalize a student for taking a high school course while they're in middle school. So, and then we have lots of students that are really good at English and they want to work ahead on their English core classes, or really good in science, and so they start taking their core classes too and working ahead on those so that they can get to those college level courses at a sooner rate. So when it comes time for different degrees or going to any of the state colleges or any college in general, there are what are called the general education requirements. In Idaho, we call them the GEM requirements, general education matriculation courses. And so I'll show you some examples here of an associate's degree pathway or an academic certificate pathway. But basically those GEM areas are written communication. Everybody has to take English 101. Everybody has to take English 102 unless you get a certain ACT or SAT score, and you test out of those. But for 90% of the population, they have to take those classes. And so because students have to take that, basically what we tell students is in their junior and senior year, we're going to replace your normal high school English requirements by taking these 2 college English classes. And so we have probably about 40 to 50% of our students in their junior and senior year that are taking these 2 writing classes and getting the college credit, and not only getting it for high school credit, but also for college opportunities at that time. You're required to take speech in high school. We tell students when you're a sophomore, take dual credit speech. Dual credit communications is what we call it. So you have to have it for most colleges and as part of their GEM. So we say, if you're college bound and that's where you're looking at in your sophomore, junior year, senior year, whatever it may be, jump in, take that college credit opportunity and meet that GEM requirement. Same thing with math. Most of the students, a student that starts in Algebra 1 as a freshman will earn college credit before they graduate. Regardless, 95% of our students will earn college credit in math before they graduate high school. College algebra is one of those great classes. It transfers. It waives lots of prerequisite requirements when you're in college. And so we want to make sure every kid has college algebra, or at least the equivalent of college algebra or higher before they graduate from high school. And so that's the nice thing about all of our math departments is we're able to offer those college opportunities to every student in the district. So, as well as calculus and Calc 1 and Calc 2. I have to tell you a story. I have a extremely motivated 8th grader right now. He's actually doing 8th and 9th grade in the same year. I've got special permission. He is actually in a college algebra class right now as an 8th grader earning college credit. He wants to be a computer science engineer. So his goal is by the time he graduates, he wants to have all of his math done. That's pretty intense. That is not normal. I just want you to know that. But I just want you to know, if you want to make something happen, I'll find a way to make it happen for each of your kids. Okay? I'll work with colleges and do whatever we have to do to make it happen. So, okay? So that's a very extreme situation, but there's ways to make it happen. So, okay? Science is one of those areas where we're able to offer lots of different courses. Science is one of those where it depends on what your major is going to be, on which type of science courses you need to take. And so a lot of kids will say, I'm going to go to pre-med. Okay, if you're going to go pre-med, here's your opportunities. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to take dual credit bio. You're going to jump in at some point in time. You're going to go to the college campus, and you're going to take dual credit chemistry. And you're going to take physics, and you have to learn. And kids, we try to counsel kids with college and career advisors, high school counselors, myself. We try to get them to understand that if you're looking at pre-med, you better get ready for lots of science, because there's going to be lots of science involved in that. So, and then for the kid that wants to do something that's not in the pre-med area, wants to go into business or do something else, we have pathways for those students that they can do an environmental science and a natural disasters class. And they get their 8 credits of science that they need for college as well as high school graduation, and they're able to meet those requirements. And so the good thing about all the science classes and the calculus classes is that our district has, the state has given us the option to allow students to earn half as many more credits. So if it's a 3-credit class for English, for example, it's 1 trimester, the student earns 1.5 high school credits. Okay? If it's a 4-credit science class with a lab, the student gets 2 high school science credits for that class. Okay? So the advantage is, if you get an A on the 5.0 scale for those 2 credits, obviously your GPA goes up, right? And so that's one of the reasons why we've opted in and tried to take advantage of those opportunities for students. Okay? Humanities, again, just different opportunities there for students. A lot of foreign language is involved in that. We have a great foreign language program in our district. Students can earn in every high school in our district, students can earn 16 college credits in Spanish. And in fact, next year, because we have an articulation agreement now with ISU, they're going to actually, the students at Thunder Ridge High School, and we'll probably have students coming here in a traditional 5th-year program, which a student that takes Spanish 1 as an 8th grader, by the time they're a senior, will be able to be in a 5th-year program, and they'll be able to earn an advanced language certificate that also would give them Spanish, 300-level Spanish course going into college. So I mean, those students that are looking at doing that will almost have a minor in Spanish by the time they leave high school. So Spanish is pretty cool that way. Hillcrest, we're able to offer also 16 credits in French, but every high school we offer at least 8 credits in either German or French for students. So, okay? And then lots of social sciences with all of our history and everything else. I'm going to go out of this for just a second and just kind of look at just some of the different degrees. So CSI, we have both what's called an academic certificate, GEM certificate, as well as an associate's degree. As you can see there, those 6 requirements are the same at that university. We have the 6 different core areas that we require for the objective areas. And then there's 2 additional classes that are required for the student to earn the academic certificate. The good thing about the academic certificate is that it is 36 credits. It waives all of your general education requirements at a state university. Okay? So even if you don't finish your associate's degree and you've been working on this, a student that finishes their academic certificate they are able to have their general education requirements waived at any of the colleges or universities. Okay? That is a good thing. That means they can focus on their major at that point in time. So, and these are all on our website. If you go to D93online.com, click on Advanced Opportunities. It's on that last one of those sheets there with the Jumpstart High School. You can pull up these, and it'll show you which classes meet each of those requirements. Okay. The same thing with ISU when you look at their associate's degree. Again, we have those 6 core areas, and that's what we focus on. The written communication, oral communication, math, science, humanities, and social sciences. Okay. However, to get the associate's degree, there are 3 additional requirements. Okay. They have a critical ways of knowing and an information literacy requirement. You have to do one of those 2. And then we have a cultural diversity requirement that is also required. And then the 3rd requirement is that they have to have 15 credits from that. And regardless of which university we go through, you have to have 15 college credits from that university, whether it be from CSI if you're getting the academic certificate, or the associate's degree, or IDSU. You have to have 15 credits from that college in order to establish residency. And so we're working with students to make sure that they're getting advising appropriately as they get to be a junior and senior and are meeting those residency requirements. Okay. The total on the associate's degree is 60 credits, but most of the students that are finishing up this year are right in that 64 to 66 range. Okay, or how many credits they're earning. So. And then the last thing is in your packet, the last 2 pages there in your packet are the transfer guides. The transfer guides show you how AP credits transfer to the colleges and university. The state of Idaho changed legislation last year, so if a student receives a 3 on an AP exam, they automatically receive college credit at that college or university. The other page, the really tiny print one, shows all of those dual credit classes that we currently offer in the district. I think last year we were about 82. I think this year we're about 89 different courses we offer in the district for college credit. And that shows how they transfer to a lot of the local colleges as well as the colleges and universities outside of the state. So I try to keep that updated about every 2 years, because it takes me forever to go through every college and figure it out. But it's just meant there to kind of help you make a plan and say, I'm going to go to Weber State. I want to know how this class transfers and make sure that you're able to transfer those credits in there. So, okay. Casey. My clicker stopped working. So.
Oh, no worries. I got this. I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. One thing that I love about coming to this meeting every year is I get goosebumps about all of the really cool things happening in District 93. So you're so lucky that you have access to all of these opportunities at your fingertips. And that's really what Advanced Opportunities is all about in the Fast Forward program. It's about giving your students access to all of these opportunities so that you don't have to say no to anything. As you can tell, these are great. They're kind of expensive. A lot of these opportunities, right? They come with a bill, and that's why our legislators have year after year been willing to provide funding for your students so that that financial barrier is not there, and you get to say yes if your student is able and willing to do the work in any of these programs. So I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about the Fast Forward program and how it's going to help your students tonight. I won't take much time though, because I know, let's go back to this. Because I know we've got 4 more awesome people And we've talked about some of this before. The state has essentially given every student access to $4,125. And this just about pays for an associate degree, give or take 5 or 6 credits. And so it really provides opportunities to almost earn that associate degree. In Idaho, we see that students use on average about 8 credits worth of funding. Okay, so they used not quite that 4125. We use a lot less money. But the important thing is that students get access to those opportunities. And we can use that funding on 4 different types of opportunities. The first being overload classes. And when we say 7th graders get to start using funding, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about college, except for that 8th grader. Holy moly! But anyway, 7th graders usually start out by taking high school classes in 7th grade, and we pay for those. I'll talk a little bit more about overload in just a moment. We also pay for dual credits. We've talked a lot about that, so I'm going to spare you additional information. Does everyone feel good about the knowledge? Is anyone overwhelmed yet? There's so much to know. And then workforce training, we also pay for workforce training opportunities and exams. And when we're talking about exams, we're talking about AP, CLEP, IB, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Overload we haven't talked about as much. If your student wants to start taking high school classes in middle school, then this is the funding that they would use. Most often, students will be doing this work online because there are few requirements for overload classes. The first is that that high school class is taken outside of the school day. Okay, so it's already outside the school day. It's in addition to a full schedule, which we have deemed as 12 credits. So they have to be taking at least 12 credits during the regular school day. Okay, and it needs to be at grade level or higher. And so we see students who are doing these work online a lot of times. And then we also know that when students are working online, they have to be really motivated. They have to be a self-starter, have some good support at home because online learning is challenging. And so we see students work here primarily with IDLA. If your students have done IDLA classes, we have BYU Independent Study, not here. I don't know why I'm looking at you guys over there. But BYU Independent Study and Bonneville Online. Right here. Yes. Has anyone done Bonneville Online? Has anyone used that resource? Yes. They're our number 3 provider in the state, maybe even number 2 now for the number of overload classes that they provide. So anyway, you have a really great resource here. So we pay up to $225 for those courses. Often they're right between $75 and $225. All right, and then we've already talked about dual credit classes, right? They're taken here on campus, online, on college campuses. We pay up to $75 per credit. Note that we only pay tuition at this point. If students have to purchase a book for class, or there are fees associated with that class, students will need to pay those costs out of pocket. So we'll pay up to $75 for tuition. Note that students can use funding here at our Idaho public schools. We work really well with them. In fact, we pay them directly for your students' courses, so you don't have to worry about getting reimbursed. But you can use funding for out-of-state schools, potentially sometimes, and get reimbursed for those. We also work with private schools like BYU Idaho and NNU to help your students have access to those opportunities. Okay, just a couple of notes. While Fast Forward is this really incredible program, there are some risks associated with the program that I want to make sure you're aware of. First things first, your students will fill out a participation form. And that form is a legal document that our state has created, and there are a couple of reasons for that document. The first is that if the state has paid for the course, if Fast Forward funding has been used, it must go on the high school transcript. Okay, so it's really important to be aware of, especially in middle school, that there is that risk associated. So if your student uses Fast Forward funding and they decide they don't want the grade on their high school transcript, by signing that participation form, you've given the state and the district the ability to put that on the high school transcript. So it's really important. It's in our legislation. Make sure your student has ample support when they're doing those classes and that they're really aware of those add drop deadlines. And then a couple of other things. If you fail to pass the course, I like to say earn credit for the course. If your student doesn't earn credit, then they will have to pay out of pocket for their next course of the same type. So if they fail a dual credit course, to keep using the state's funding, right, this is taxpayer money, so we can't just let students like go crazy. And so in that case, we have the student pay out of pocket for their next course, and then that assures that we're using the taxpayer money as well as possible. So make sure again that your students have all of those all the support that they need to be successful in those courses. It's great to stretch yourself. I think it's important in high school, right, to try something hard, to do something, but be really aware of those boundaries and when things are too much and when things feel really good. One thing I really like about this district is I really do truly mean this, there are some of, I think, the best CCAs ever in this district. It doesn't matter what school your students go to, you're in great hands with really awesome school counselors and career and college advisors, so be sure you're communicating with them because they are so knowledgeable. I would go to them with questions, okay, and I'm supposed to be the expert, so they're your local experts for all things advanced opportunities as well. Okay, just a note about exams to kind of wrap this up. We pay for AP, we pay the full cost of these exams. AP, IB, we don't have any IB schools in Idaho Falls yet. CLEP, one thing to note about CLEP, we do pay for the test cost, but we don't pay the proctoring fee. The cheapest place to go to take a CLEP is BYU, Idaho, if you want, they have the lowest proctoring fee. And then CTE examinations as well. The state has recognized that not every pathway needs to include a 4-year degree. And that's really important to note. You don't have to have a bachelor's degree to make really good money. When I was a school counselor, I had students coming out of my welding program at the school, and they were making more money than me per hour coming out of high school. So there are so many, and I had a master's degree. I was like, whoa, maybe I should have done welding. Like maybe I should have thought around here. And so know that the state recognizes the value in these CTE certifications. Your students can come out making money and we'll pay the full cost of those certifications. So when we talked about the CNA students, the EMT students, we're paying for those exams. And those are some hefty, CNA not so much, but the EMT exams are a lot of money. And then now we offer workforce funding for workforce training. At this point, it's fairly limited in scope. The legislators have said that they need to at least be a program offered at your local college, and they have to be an in-demand job. And so if your student wants to use funding for a workforce training program, the best thing that I could recommend doing is talking to one of the school counselors or the CCAs here in the district to see if that program is available. We're looking to expand that and potentially add more programs in the next few years. Okay, if your student graduates early and decides they want to go to an Idaho public school, we do have an early graduation scholarship worth $1,500. Actually, this year was $1,800. It goes up, it's a percentage, but it's worth about $1,800 now per year early they graduate. So as you're looking at weighing the costs and benefits, really think about how to maximize staying in school for that extra senior year, or if you're really ready to go on to college a year early, but know that we have some support if your student chooses to go to an Idaho public school. Okay, and then your students become very, very good at doing this. Students will have an account in the portal, and that's where they request funding for most of their courses in this district. Some of them are requested on students' behalf, but the portal is fantastic because you get to track all of the courses that your students have taken and have used funding for. So as a parent, share that. You can get that password from your students so you can track everything. We keep all of their dual credit courses, so when they go to apply for college, it's listed in there neatly so they can figure out where they need all their transcripts from when they're getting ready to go to college. So it's a really great system. They'll do most of their applying for the funding in classes, so this isn't something that you'll be doing at home necessarily with them. They work with their teachers and the CCAs here to make sure that they're getting funding requested during those classes. And then again, I mentioned the fast forward participation form. Okay, there's contact information for our team. Should you need anything, I'm just gonna zip right past this and turn it over to Chelsea Rao.
Thank you, Ms. Casey. All right. Well, thank you all for attending tonight. We will be short and sweet and be after, we will hold, if you do have a question, please feel free to jump it out, but we will be around afterwards, so feel free to hold those questions if you feel like it might be a little bit longer of an answer. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. So Idaho Advanced Opportunities, I know this is kind of maybe a recap of the night, but just real quickly, there's 4 opportunities for advanced opportunities that exist within Idaho. dual credit, of course, and our CTE courses, as well as AP and International Baccalaureate. So those are the 4 options. As Casey did say, IB does not exist in this area yet. It's mainly on the western side of the state. Okay, so college credit and high school credit are given for both your college coursework that's taken in the high school. So mostly those courses are taught in the high school. However, we'll get to the next page. That's $75 a credit per credit statewide. We do have a lot of coursework that is available for students to come to campus as well. So I'm going to add to the definition of dual enrollment, which you'll see here in a second, that also adds to taking coursework on college campus too. So I think one of the biggest pieces for students and of course parents is the cost savings that is associated. Obviously, we've got this great opportunity with fast forward funding, advanced opportunities, where the state is paying for these, but obviously you are paying for them as taxpayers as well too. So you can see the great cost per credit savings. So the first left-hand column denotes the dual credit student who's taking classes at $75 a credit. And if they're going to take 12 credits, which is a full-time load, or equal to that on campus, it's $900, okay? So, and then on the right-hand column, this is our part-time student. They're not taking full-time course load, so it's a per credit cost for them. And 402 is exactly the cost per credit. Now, mind you, most part-time students are not taking full-time workload or course load, right? It's going to be under 12 credits. But I just wanted to show you the equivalent, okay? So, plus, then you've got books, class fees at ISU, of course, parking, et cetera, and so on and so forth. There's always a little bit of a cost to coming to campus, right? So, the great cost savings is almost $4,000 that's in your pocket, and that can be going towards something else. The eligibility for requirements are that students be 16 and 16 and a 3.0 GPA, or completed half of their high school graduation requirements, okay? We also will accept special permission from a district official. We know that we don't know your students. We know that the school counselors know your students. Principals know your students. We want to always provide an opportunity for a student who is ready to take college courses. We know that, maybe something happened in the family, or, life happens for kids too. We understand that. And so we want to provide that opportunity for them. So that's where we will also go for a special permission. All right, so we have a little bit of a process. Mind you, once a student is admitted to our program, they do not have to do any more applications. They just have to register for classes and request their fast forward funding, which is something we also come out and assist with. So we do have an online application. It should be real quick, take about 5 minutes, hopefully not more than that. The second thing that we need is a permission form. And what we do is we marry up those two things in our office and then admit your student to early college. At that point, then that's when they can go in and request their, rewind. They what is the word I'm looking for? They claim their Bango Web account, So we send them an email that says, please click this link. This is how you get into Bango Web. So what's really kind of cool about our program is that we have students registering for classes exactly how students on campus register for classes. And again, we do come out. All of your classes will see either Amanda or myself or Suzanne. That is our office. And we do come out and help the students register for every single class that they're taking when they start. Okay, so I think Thunder will probably see at least, so they're on trimesters, but we do have some classes that run 1.5 tries or on a semester basis. So there are schools that we do visit 4 times a year. So registering for the class, and we of course have deadlines for all of those, and then requesting fast forward funding is the next. Thank you. All right, so students earn, like I said, coursework that is transcripted to an official Idaho State University transcript, or wherever they're taking coursework from. Those are official transcripts that, if they want to and choose to send out that institution, that is their prerogative, okay? Let me just also add, most of the institutions in the state of Idaho are accredited through the National Alliance of Concurrent Enrollment Partnerships, NACEP, and so that is a requirement of NACEP that it be an official transcript that is accredited or added to, okay? And again, all credits must be transferred. So if a student is wanting to go to another institution, they have to send it on. We can't just hide that, maybe not so good grade. We may all have them, but it does have to go with you no matter where you go, okay? And all institutions have transfer articulation guidelines. If there's an institution that your student wants to go to or is interested in going to, what I just recommend is just Google articulation guide and then that institution. Most institutions are very transparent about how coursework from other institutions will transfer to their institution. If you can't find it on the World Wide Web, just pick up the phone and call the registrar's office, okay? They will let you know specifically how maybe Idaho State University coursework will transfer to Utah State, okay? But I know Utah State has one. So AP versus dual credit, just a quick note to know that AP is never a guaranteed credit. There's always having to take that test, right? Whereas dual credit truly is a guaranteed credit, whether they do good in the class or not, right? So just keep in mind whatever's best for your student, or you as a student, whatever's best for you, kind of keep that in mind. Am I a good test taker or am I not a good test taker? I'm not a good test taker, so dual credit definitely is would have been the route for me in high school. Another great resource that I think you should definitely bookmark is this coursetransfer.idaho.gov. This is an awesome resource that the state has put together that helps you understand how courses will transfer within the state of Idaho that are public institutions, okay? So I plug in, also has AP classes on there too, FYI, okay? So I plug in that I took COM 101 or 1101 from Idaho State University, and I want it to go to University of Idaho. How is that going to transfer? Well, we know that that's a gem stamp class. That was probably a really bad example. But it will obviously transfer in as that course, okay? But maybe it's like, for ISU, we have PE 2243. It's an anatomical foundations course. So how does that course transfer then to University of Idaho? And I can't answer that for you right now, but we could look it up. I think that's all I have. I'm going to turn the time over to Amanda Blair, who's our dual credit coordinator. And first of all, my name's Chelsea. I probably didn't, maybe Casey introduced me, I don't know. And Amanda is our dual credit coordinator, and she's going to take over and talk about the associate's degree. Do you want me to do slides for you?
Yeah, you can do slides. I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, so associate degree. It's comprised of 60 credits total. One thing I cannot stress to you all enough is that it takes a lot of time, dedication, and hard work. I have 4 kids from Thunder Ridge that are graduating with their associate degree, 9 from Hillcrest, and 9 from Bonneville. So if that tells you anything, it's doable, but it is very time intensive and work intensive. And I'm not saying that to discourage anybody, but I want you to come in with your eyes wide open as to what you're getting yourself into. Also, something you want to think about is your accruing credits. So your financial aid time clock starts. And you need to have a really, really, really good idea of what you want to go into once you are done with high school. You have fast-tracked 2 years of your life by taking all these classes in high school versus taking those 2 years in college to kind of explore. Okay, I don't like psychology, not my thing. I like biology more. That type of stuff. You kind of don't have that time to play with necessarily, just because you kind of fast-tracked it. Other thing I really want to stress is the establishing residency with whatever institution you're deciding to. ISU, 15 credits. It's very important you establish residency so that you can say, yes, I've earned my degree from Idaho State University because I've taken most of my credits from there, not transferred in a bunch. This is what the Associate of Arts in General Studies looks like. Real quick, 37 general ed requirements. That's pretty much the same everywhere. 15 major requirements, and these are from the College of Arts and Letters. And then there's up to 8 elective credits, and that's as needed. If you have more credits within the major requirements, then that number fluctuates. The main goal is getting to 60 and then having 15 resident credits. The other cool thing is if you are able to do this during high school, we would love to have you join us in commencement in May. Technically, you won't be graduated from high school yet, and that's okay. So a student we welcome them to walk in graduation in May, but they're technically not a degree-seeking student until after they graduate from high school and send those official transcripts from the high school. So they're technically a summer graduate, but we still want them to walk in May if they want to. They will also receive their diploma August, September-ish, so that's kind of what the timeline looks like. The other cool thing, if your student's like 3 credits away, since they are a summer graduate, they can take classes during the summer. Bummer part is that Advanced Ops doesn't pay for that because they're technically not a high school student anymore, but it's still reachable. To-dos. Let us know if you're interested. You guys are mostly 8th graders, maybe? I'm thinking more like sophomore-ish age. You want to start thinking about this soon. Sophomore year. If you're like, yep, I want to do this, please go to our website, fill out the intent form. That way you're kind of on my radar and I can reach out to you and say, hey, let me meet with you. With that said, it's important that you are meeting with Mr. Telford, so you're on his radar as well. And kind of the timeline for that is I like to meet with the students at least once a semester just to make sure things are on the up and up. The classes for the next tries are looking good. Having consistent conversations with that student is also critical. I caught one of my kiddos this past try who almost didn't get into English 1102, and it would have been very sad. So constant contact with me just so that everyone's on the same page. And then in those meetings, having unofficial transcripts showing that you've earned those credits from whichever institution. It's not that I don't believe you that you got a grade showing on your high school transcript. I just need to know that that institution is going to actually transfer credits to ISU when the time comes. Yes, unofficial transcript, it should be free. There are some institutions where it's not. It makes me sad. It shows what classes you've taken, how many credits you've earned. An official transcript is sent at the end of your school year when you are no longer taking classes from that institution anymore. So it's kind of like a final high school transcript. Super important that you wait until all grades are final because you're going to pay for that one. It can be, I feel like, $10, $15 each time you need to send it. And let's say you were applying to 3 different schools, you need to send that transcript from, let's say, ISU to those 3 different institutions. Just a heads up. Last things, please make your decisions on taking classes with intention. Don't just take them willy-nilly. Have a purpose. Also, knowing that whatever you end up at the end of your high school years, if you don't end up getting that associate degree, it's totally okay. Like, you are going to take these credits with you regardless of where you go. They are going to follow you. So do not be hard on yourself. Life happens, and I just really want to stress that. Be proud of your accomplishments, and that's all I've got. Thanks. And now it's Miss Mary Stevenson. We just met. She didn't know my last name. Hey guys, so I'm from the College of Eastern Idaho. I'm really excited to be here. You've gotten a lot of information kind of on repeat a little bit. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about specifically what you can do with College of Eastern Idaho. We are so close, literally just down the road. And we have a lot of great opportunities for your students. So going back to the idea of different terminology at different schools means different things. This is how we classify our courses. So if you're doing dual credit, we consider that what you're doing at the high school with an improved teacher here. And we call it, when you go over to our campus, we call it concurrent enrollment on campus. So we charge $75 per credit for either one of those, and that charge can be put into the Advanced Opportunities funds. So you'll see just a few differences there. If you take courses dual credit at the high school, most of the time your high school books are your high school is going to provide the books for you. If you're on campus, you have more personal responsibility for books and fees and things like that. The other thing that I want to point out to you, earlier they talked about how scheduling can be one of the big key elements of being successful. So that's very, very true. So you are all on trimesters at the high school here, but if you decide to come over on campus to CEI, we're on a semester system. And so our classes start and stop on different weeks. Sometimes for instance, we might have a spring break that's different than your high school break. And if that's the case and you're taking a class on campus, that means you still have to go to school, because even though your high school is out. So it's important to know that when you sign up for different things, there's pros and cons to the different scheduling and all of those different facets of what you might choose to do. But those are kind of the big differences are going to be the schedule. We also offer workforce training. You heard Casey say that now you can use Advanced Opportunities funds to pay for workforce training programs. And we have a variety of workforce training programs on our campus. These are the ones that have been identified that are eligible for Advanced Opportunities funding right now. And we hope to be expanding that list. We also have a Summer Bridge program coming up. Summer Bridge is a program that's intended for students who are graduating from high school to have some classes in the summer and transition successfully into college. So if any of you have older students that are graduating this year, they could do this, but we also at CEI open it to, we have 60 seats. And so if we don't fill that with students who are seniors who have graduated, we would allow juniors to do that as well. So the nice thing is we charge $75 per credit. So even though those high school students have technically graduated from high school, we still charge them the $75 for the Summer Bridge program. And you take 2 classes. It takes 8 weeks of your summer. It is a commitment. You have to go Monday through Thursday from about 9 to noon. There's some really, really fantastic extras that are built into the schedule. We will also be here afterward, and we have some Summer Bridge applications. If you're interested, you can grab one. The deadline for that is January 31st. So planning, as you guys plan for different things you might want to do, some of you might be really heavily involved in extracurricular activities during the school year, and so maybe doing a summer program would be really beneficial to you. And we move you through these summer programs in a cohort, so you choose 2 classes and you'd be with the same students in the classes that you choose. So our eligibility requirements are similar to what you've already heard. We require a 3.0 GPA, and if you want to take classes over on the CEI campus, you have to be 16 years old, and then we do allow you to take classes as a sophomore, junior, or senior if you're in the high school. For us, we offer, most of our processes are still paper processes. You can do the admissions form online, but our registration form is on paper. And so you'll notice on there, similar to what Chelsea was saying, admissions only happens once. So we just need to do the admission form to get you admitted to the college. That's when we get all of your personal information and make you a student. And then we do a registration each time you sign up for a class. And then the deadlines are going to vary depending on the type of course you're taking. If you decide to come over on campus, your deadlines are going to be different than if you're doing dual credit in the high school.
And this is one of my favorite things to talk about with people when I talk to you about the early college opportunities that you have. You've heard other people say it today, but I've been working in dual credit for a really long time, and it's amazing to me how much momentum students have by even doing one course in high school. We have a lot of people that talk about students do a lot of credit, but even if your choice is just to do one course the whole time you're in high school, you're having preparation through firsthand experience, and it's incredibly valuable, and you'll be so glad you did it. I never have students come back to me and say, I wish I had taken less dual credit. Usually they come back and say, I wish I had just tried for one more class. So the one thing on here I really want to stress, though, because CEI is so close to your campus, I want you to know that if you sign up to be an early college student with CEI, you have access to all of the free tutoring that happens on our college campus. And so that can be really valuable to you. You don't have to be actually in a dual credit math class to come over to CEI and use the math lab. Our tutors will help you with your high school math. So we also have writing labs and science tutors and things like that. So when you become an early college student, we consider you a student of our campus, and you have access to all of those resources, which is pretty phenomenal. And then last, I just want to kind of plant that seed as we've talked about different goals that you might want to think about doing. We talk to a lot of students about making really good use of your senior year in particular. So just for an example, if you wanted to get ahead a little bit, if you did 30 college credits while you're in high school, which is similar to the Gen Ed certificate or equivalent to 1 year in college, and then we would love to have you come to CEI for 1 year after that. Our regular tuition at CEI is $129 a credit, so it's really inexpensive. We would love to help you get scholarships and financial aid, and then help you transition into either the workforce or onto a four-year university with little or no debt, which would be really fantastic. So all of those things we'd love to talk to you more about. We have advising services, and we'll be here afterward if you have any more questions. Who's up, Josh? Here comes the magic.
This kid has the right idea. He's absolutely snoozing. I'm Josh. I'm from CSI. Literally, they have said everything. So congratulations. I'm not even going to talk about much. Truly, in District 93, if you throw a rock, you will hit a dual credit class from CSI. We are all over the place. I am all over the place. Yes, we are in Twin Falls, like main campus, but I actually live here, and I work from home, right? And they think that's funny because I work from home. I don't know. I just want to put my 2 cents in. If you're gonna do this, you just gotta have a really good plan, right? And I know we've talked about that all night, but there are really bad horror stories of not having a good plan about, hey, I'm a senior. Somehow I missed 3 credits, and a couple of my best friends are graduating with associates, and I'm not, because I didn't have a plan or I didn't talk to anybody. So get the plan ahead of time. Make sure that it's a good plan, right? And if you need a good contact, Corey's cell phone number is 208. He will accept calls. Like 2 a.m. to 4 is like his prime, like. Okay. Really, other than that, look at dual credit as a scholarship, because really that's truly what it is. If you don't feel like you're up to par as a student and you can't get a scholarship, the state's giving you $4,100. So that's a huge scholarship. Then on top of that, once you graduate with an associate's or even an academic certificate, right? Then you go and you do the Idaho Opportunity Scholarship, which could be up to $3,500, and then you do FAFSA, and you do all these things. And so, man, just look at this like a scholarship. I'm done. That's it. So, CSI, our colors look good with jeans. That's about it.
You guys you've endured. Good job. I'm Tyler Williams from BYU, Idaho, and we are in the concurrent enrollment game. I hope everyone had a chance out front to get our pamphlet. Raise your hand if you have one. Okay, Tim, you need to fulfill some people's dreams and giving them this pamphlet. Hot off the presses. Just picked them up on Friday, so it's really cool. Just a couple things that are a little different. We're a private school, so not all of the rules and perks that come from the state apply to me, but we can in a roundabout way. So one of the big things that I think you need to be aware of is we do receive advanced opportunity funding. It's just you get it as a reimbursement. We're the one school that you get reimbursed with. And so what you do is you pay the fee up front to BYU Idaho, and then we'll get everything submitted, and you work through the school district, and you get your money back. So you will get your stuff. So I like how he's like, okay, it's cool. We can work with that. So there's that. The other thing that I wanted to point out to you, a couple things. $30 a credit if you take us exclusively online. I don't see any reason why any of you would want to drive up to Rexburg, especially on a day like today, right? But if you take everything online, it's $30 per credit that you'll be reimbursed. So even if you wanted to fund it yourself, hopefully that's more affordable for you. If you do come to campus, it will be $65, and that's explained here on the back. A couple other things that I wanted you to be aware of. Recently, within the last year, we have opened up the whole catalog to our concurrent enrollment students. So before, we had a limited selection of online courses that you could take. But if you meet the prerequisites now for any of our courses, you can take them. What we do recommend, though, is you work closely with your high school counselors, because we don't want these nightmares to happen where you took a class that you thought would meet high school graduation requirements and it didn't. So just make sure that you work and coordinate with your high school counselors. We also have a really great tool on our website that will tell you if you're taking courses from any other school and bringing it over. It'll tell you how that course will transfer and what we will do with that. Our big deal is we're not so much in the game of wanting you to get an associate's degree and come to us. We just want you to take advantage of your opportunities. And whatever you bring to us, we want it to count, and we want it to work for you. So with that said, I'll stick around and I'll answer a bunch of questions. But the big thing is we've got an affordable tuition rate, and we have online faculty that are ready to teach you. So, and that's one thing many parents have asked me. It's like, well, what do we do with the online? Do they just do that at home? You can. I've worked with some high school counselors where they free up an hour in your regular schedule, and you can go to the library and you can work on your class there. And it's kind of neat because now you're in a worldwide course. You got people taking that very same course from all over the world, and our online program is growing like you can't believe. So I'm going to drop the mic, but you can talk to me afterwards. Okay.
Have we had enough time together? So one of the things I just want to wrap up with and just kind of to go through, the purpose of Jumpstart High School is you replace elective, you replace a core in your day so you're not having to use those overload funds, okay? You're still earning high school credit. We're not charging you during the day on Jumpstart High School for that $225. Now, if you take it outside of the school day, we charge you. Summertime, we charge you. But summertime's also a great opportunity to work on those credits ahead of time, okay? Again, I would encourage you to work with the counselors. We have the college and career advisors. If you'll stand up, college and career advisors. Have Tyler, Melissa, and Jessica from each of the 3 high schools. We have counselors here from the middle schools and high schools. If you'll stand up also, they'll be around to help answer questions. And from Bonneville and Bonneville Online and Sand Creek and Thunder Ridge and everybody else. So, but really, we're here to help you. We're here to advise you and do everything we can. The highlight of my day is to meet with kids and help them make a plan, because every plan is different and every plan is individualized for every kid. And I have no problem sitting down and working with you for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is, to make a plan of what will work for you and your student and what they want to accomplish and stuff. And the same with the counselors and college and career advisors. We're here to help you. We're here to help you get those articulations in place and work through that. So in regards to BYU Idaho, if you choose to take a class with them, once you pay for that, bring the receipt to me. I'll get you reimbursed through the portal, okay? That's how we work it through. I have ways. We'll make it happen. So, okay? Questions? Yes? We can you can do it from every, basically, if you're looking at a student that's trying to get an associate's degree or get 30 to 40 college credits, they're probably going to take classes from each of the colleges. And it's just, and it has to do with how the teachers are certified, who they're qualified to teach with. That's really what it comes down to, is who the teacher's qualified to articulate it with is basically where they're going to get the college credit from. Okay? And that's the nice thing, is we've tried to make sure all those credits will transfer to whatever college. And that's one of the reasons why we've given you the transfer guide, and it's on our website, so you can go to there and look at it and say, okay, I know my kid wants to go to Boise State, but they've taken these classes from Idaho State, CSI, NNU, BYU, Idaho. Here's how that class will transfer to Boise State. Right. Right. Both of us can help you. Yep. So, at some point, I do need to meet with them. So, that's really what it comes down to, is at some point in time, we're going to have a conversation, especially if they're working towards some type of degree or certificate, so we can get them into contact with individuals. Okay? Other questions? Yes. So, Bonneville Online, during the summer, we offer opportunities to everybody in the area in southeast Idaho. So during the summer, any student from in the area can come and take advantage of our online classes to get high school credit or college credit. We offer some college credits during the summer. If you're looking at if you're outside of the area, you can go to CEI. They're always looking for your students to step on campus there. Idaho State University is a similar way. Or I would say just open enroll into one of our high schools and we'll help you out that way. Okay? Because that's how we have to do it. Because of how the state funds public schools and high schools, we have to have their enrollment in our district in order to help them out during the school year. So, okay? Other questions? All right. We're around. We're here to help answer questions. Thank you for coming tonight. I know we've given you lots of information. Again, I would put a plug in for going to our website, just D93 online right here. And the only reason it's on there is because I can control this website and I can keep track of it. So if you click on Advanced Opportunities, it'll bring you to this page. And here are all the links, the transfer guides, AP equivalencies. There'll be a Facebook video on here, a recording of this in case you missed something and want to go back and review it, or have others that have asked you about it. You can put them there as well as on the district website. So, again, we're here to help. We appreciate you. We know you want the best for your kids, and that's why you're here, and you want your kids, students to take advantage of those opportunities, and we want to help them take advantage of those opportunities. And so, thank you again. Appreciate you coming.